Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So nice to be with you.
Very nice to be with you. We're excited tonight to offer something a little different for Koleinu this month. Cantor, Lisa, and I wanted to take advantage of the fact that in this new reality that we're living in, there's some room for creativity in a way that we can't do it when we're gathered together, that we can use visuals and we can use music in a way that we can't in a sanctuary space. And so tonight we created something and put something together, definitely with the help of Tess Cutler, that we wanted to share with you.
Inspired by the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat, our tradition realizes that we can't just jump from the mundane of our week into the holiness of Shabbat. And so the Kabbalat Shabbat series takes us through psalm by psalm as we elevate our holiness, leaving that regular week full of stress and anxiety. And with each psalm, we go on a journey, eventually leading us to those 25 hours of bliss that is Shabbat. So we wanted to create a musical and visual journey to accompany you as you leave the stress of everything that's going on in our lives and welcome in the peace and serenity that is Shabbat. So welcome to your own journey.
Yes, so for the next 20 minutes or so, turn down the lights, get in a space where you can just enjoy the music and the visuals that you will see on the screen in front of you, and Shabbat Shalom.
We'll see you on the other side.
The faster that we act, the better we can protect all of us.
As lines for COVID testing stretch blocks in some states, the result...
Visually, fresh red flag conditions carrying 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts.
There are only about 10 voting machines.
We're drinking from our
Yiram hayam umelon
states. The results are rocking regions.
Communities already besieged by smoke and road.
זכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. לשם ותפארת ולתהילה, לכבודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם לסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון. טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון. השרת מלאכי עליון מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא בואכם לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ברכו לי לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שיתכם לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת מלאכי עליון מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא בואכם לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ברכו לי לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שיתכם לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא
Shabbat Shalom
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We made it to the other side.
of the journey. First of all, thank you to Tess Cutler for all the
Yes.
production and editing for that journey that we put together. I don't know about you, Cantor Lisa, but I was so happy with how that turned out, and it was a journey in the making of that. So I don't know. I'm sure we could talk about that for a long time. We won't do it right now. But I just have to say, I think this is the time to be creative with our tradition and to try new things. And I'm just happy that we did that. And anyone who's with us tonight, if you have any feedback or thoughts, of course, you can add it to the chat, but also feel free to reach out to us
Yes, let
over
us know
email.
what you think.
Please let us know, because obviously we took a risk and a chance just doing this, and hopefully you found it meaningful and found that hopefully you understood that this was a journey that we were taking from the insanity of the week into a more Shabbat frame of mind, and the fact that we went on that journey to really move into a different space. And that's what we're going to do right now with all of you, is to move into that Shabbat frame of mind as well. So
yes, so now that we've officially made our journey from the craziness into the peace of Shabbat, we're going to continue to bring in just that calm and that serenity of Shabbat with the lighting of our Shabbat candles. So if you have your candle set at home, I invite you to light with me. We bring in that light of Shabbat 3 times.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. If you have your Kaddish cup, we'll join in sanctifying this time together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zechel yitziat Mitzrayim ki banu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
L'chaim, everyone.
L'chaim.
And last but not least, we have our motzi. We'll call upon our challah onto the screen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. B'te'avon, everyone. So now that we've had the opportunity to experience that journey of using the Psalms of the Kabbalat Shabbat service to transform us from the craziness of the week and everything that we're experiencing in our lives into the peace and serenity, we come to the official prayer service, which starts with the Baruch Hu. Now that we've had a chance to adjust our minds and our spirits, we physically move our bodies with the Baruch Hu. We stand up a little bit taller, as someone said, with the online services, or if we're able to, we bow down at the mention of being blessed, because we're accepting that on the Shabbat, that there is a higher power, whether you call that God or the universe or nature is up to you. But we acknowledge that we are not alone and that we are subservient to a higher power around us. So I invite you at home, if you're able to please rise for the Baruch Hu.
Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Arechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai ועד, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
One of the joys for me of watching that Koleinu journey was just the fact that it was purely just some visuals and a lot of sound, right? A lot of listening. So I want you all to just take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Focus purely on the power of listening. The sounds that bring you comfort, the sounds that bring you joy. And bring that into focus as we continue with Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
And now that we've had that moment to quiet ourselves and to listen, we speak the words of the Veahavta, which is all about the actions of how we are going to make this world a better place.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha vehayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם Adonai Elohechem Emet.
So a lot of the videos that we saw in that Koleinu journey reminded us of the journey that we've taken these last couple of, 8-9 months of this pandemic, a situation that none of us ever thought that we would be in before. And this next prayer is not really a prayer, but it's really a song, a poem that we're told that our ancestors, the Israelites, cried out together in jubilation, having overcome the obstacle of slavery in Egypt, and then yet the other obstacle of the sea in front of them, Pharaoh's army behind them. We've all been listening to the news this week, and we know that we're probably headed towards a lockdown or curfew similar to what it is that we experienced early on in this process. And I think if we can take a note from our ancestors, that as long as we continue singing as one people, that we can overcome any obstacles that are thrown this way. So with that thought in mind, we enter into the song of Mihamocha.
Mihamocha Mocha Nedar Bakodesh Nora Sefele Nora Tehilot O Sefele Nora Tehilot O Sefele Malechutcha Rauvanecha Bokei Ayam Lifnei Moshe uMiriam Zelianu Veyameru Adonai Yimloch Leolam Va'ed.
And in addition to that singing, this next prayer, Hashkivenu, is about how we can wrap ourselves in the love and support of others as we walk through the wilderness, as we walk through the darkness. Hashkivenu is really about asking God to find those wings of support. And so I want you to think, as we offer Hashkivenu and as I read the English translation, what are those wings of support in your life? And it may be people who are not physically near you right now, but can you imagine being wrapped in the embrace and the support and the love of all of those people who care about you? And can you hold on to that strength and that comfort that they give you as we think about Hashkivenu and as we think about going through this Shabbat, as we go through the next week, as we go through Thanksgiving and beyond? How can you continue to feel embraced and cared for and protected? Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and our coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people, Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Ufros aleinu sukat shelomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Hapore sukat shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Hapore sukat shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim.
In a moment, we're just going to take a moment for silent prayer for this Amidah, whether you physically stand or you think about spiritually standing up, lifting yourself up for this moment of just quiet reflection and strength and perseverance and relaxation. When I was watching our journey in the piece Tov Lehodot, and it had all those images of the firefighters and the police officers and the nurses and the doctors, all those people who are working so hard to protect our lives, our homes. Mishaberach is our chance to acknowledge all of those who are in need of healing, physical and emotional and spiritual. And we know that there are so many people out there, many of whom are watching right now. It's not just people out there, it's also us. All of us need that sense of healing. So think about those names of people whom you know are in need of healing. Feel free to share them in the chat. Feel free to say them out loud or in your heart as we continue with Mishaberach.
Mishaberach avotenu mekol habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bisheberach, Bisheberach imotenu mekol habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Amen. Just very briefly want to touch on something from this week's Torah portion, Toldot. Isaac, on his journeys, goes to the land of the Philistines, and when he leaves there, it says that he begins digging wells, the same wells that his father Abraham had dug. And as he is digging these wells, he reveals Ma'im Chaim, the living waters. And so I've been thinking about the sense of these wells. What does it mean to be digging wells, to open up the wells of possibility? And there's a great parable from the rabbis. The rabbis love to use stories to try and teach us a lesson. And there's one that's always stood out to me that I wanted to share with you tonight. One that I think we can hold on to in this time where, as COVID numbers increase, as the days get shorter and the nights get longer, how we can look for those wells of support, of those living waters of sustenance in our own lives. It starts with, a king was traveling with his child through the wilderness. And when a king travels, his entire entourage travels along. Ministers, guards, attendants, and servants, all at the ready to serve their master and carry out his will. And suddenly the procession ground to a halt, and the king's child had a request. Water, said the crown prince. I want water. The king convened his cabinet to address the crisis. My son is thirsty, he said to his ministers, but how is water to be obtained in the wilderness? After much deliberation, 2 proposals were laid before the throne. I shall dispatch the ablest horsemen on my fastest steed, proposed the commander of the royal cavalry. They will ride to the nearest settlement, fill their water skins, and within the hour, there will be water for the prince. Well, the chief of the Royal Engineering Corps said, I shall put my men and equipment to the task. They will erect a derrick and sink a well right here on the very spot at which we have stopped, and before the day is out, there will be water for the prince. The king opted for the latter proposal, and soon the royal engineers were boring a well through the desert and the rock. And toward evening, they reached a vein of water, and the prince's thirst was quenched. "Why," asked the prince of his father, after he had drunk his fill, "did you trouble your men in digging a well in the desert? After all, we have the means to obtain water more quickly and easily." "Indeed, my son," replied the king, "such is our situation today, but perhaps one day, many years in the future, you will again be traveling this way. Perhaps you'll be alone, without the power and privilege you now enjoy, and then the well we dug today will be here to quench your thirst." "But father," said the prince, "in many years the sands of time will refill the well and stop its water and erase its memory." "My son," said the king, "you have spoken with wisdom and foresight. This, then, is what we will do. We will mark the site of this well on our maps and preserve the maps from the ravages of time. And if you know the exact spot on which this well has been sunk, you'll be able to open it with a minimum of effort." "This we shall do at every encampment on our journey," said the king. "We shall dig wells and mark their places on our map. We shall record the particular characteristics of each well and the method by which they can be reopened. And so whenever and under whatever circumstances you will travel this route, you will be able to obtain the water that will sustain you on your journey." Isaac finds the Mayim Chaim, the waters of life. And as the story tells with this parable, that our life is really our opportunity to dig wells along our journey, to mark moments and times in our life that give us sustenance, that offer memories that sustain us, that enliven us. And so in those times where you are feeling despondent, pessimistic, where it feels like the night is coming way too quickly, our tradition and this week's Torah portion is teaching us that you have the wells to sustain you through that darkness. You have been digging them throughout your entire life, and you have marked those. All you have to do is use your memory to remember those moments in your life that gave you joy, that brought optimism into your life. And so on this Shabbat, and as we move into the end of the year, and we're getting close to Hanukkah, right, where we bring light into the darkest time of the year, in those moments of darkness, I hope that you can dig back into those wells that have sustained you up into this point in your life. And may you reveal them, and may you discover deep within those wells another sense of rejuvenation and life that's been with you the whole time. Shabbat Shalom. I want to now turn, before we move into the Mourner's Kaddish, just a few announcements. So maybe Cantor Lisa can come up and be next to me for this part. We have a few things coming up. Cantor, why don't you start us off, and then I'll fill in any gaps.
Sure. I'm not sure which slide's going to come up first, but on December 4th, Rabbi Leader and I will be leading a special celebration Shabbat service. And part of what we do is we want to celebrate all of you. We know that birthdays and anniversaries don't look the way that anyone thought they would. And so if you are celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, or any kind of special simcha in the months of November and December, please send us a picture explaining what it is you're celebrating so we can put together a very special slideshow for our service, celebrating all of you and celebrating as a community.
That weekend's a big celebration for my family.
Yes, it is. It's the bat mitzvah of Ella Nickerson.
Yeah, December 5th.
Yep.
Very exciting. My
Parshat
oldest daughter
Vayikra.
becoming a woman amongst the Jewish people.
Yeah.
Also, soon after that, as I mentioned, Hanukkah. Hanukkah is around the corner. We have 8 crazy quarantine nights of Hanukkah at Wilshire Boulevard Temple. An entire array of opportunities for you. Every single night we're offering something. During the weekend we're offering a few things in person. Everything else during the week will be online. You'll be getting information about all of those things, but we do want to say that Cantor Peicott and I will be leading a drive-in Koleinu that Friday, I think December 11th is
December
the date.
11th, correct.
Where you can come to the West Campus, stay in your car, socially distant from everyone else, but you can roll down your windows and listen to some live music. Now, if you loved the music that you heard tonight, imagine hearing it with the band, hearing it live. Obviously, there's nothing better than that. So feel free to sign up for that. You can join us in your car and participate in that service. There will be another service available that night as well. And then throughout the week, opportunities for all different types of celebrations and ways to experience the holiday together. Even though we have to be apart, we will be together.
Beautiful. Well done.
Anything else? Again, if you have feedback on tonight's journey, again, please let us know. We want to keep trying new things and being as creative as possible. So any feedback, any suggestions of other potential things we could try, bring it on.
We're up for experimentation. And I want to give one more shout out to the incredible Tess Cutler, who we are so fortunate to be able to work with at Wilshire Boulevard Temple for editing it and helping us put this together. Daniel Reichman, who produced all of the music. And then the last announcement is for those of you who joined our at-home experience with our sensory boxes, remember to click on the Zoom link in your email so that you can join Rabbi Joel and I for a little l'chaim after the service.
With that, we're going to move now to the conclusion of our service, and we will conclude tonight with Mourner's Kaddish, where we think about all those people who brought light to our lives who are no longer with us physically, but we're definitely thinking about all of them tonight. We begin by remembering those who passed away within the last 30 days, Shloshim. Jerusha Rebecca Simantov Darvish, Gary Ann Dryden, Ray Friedman, Fred Furman, Derek Gerson, Samuel Goldfarb, Elliot Caption, Marshall Katz, Beverly Land, David Keane Levitt, Charles Leonard Levin, Matthew Madwin, Rosangela Rinsky, Leah Sauter, Steffi Shadle, Linda Scher, Lee Schick, Lee Simon, Marcy Stillerman. This Shabbat we commemorate the following yard sites: Alma Abrams, Celia Adler, Julius Adler, Sam Adlin, Sarah Aktzazard, Leonard Altman, Samuel Berkowitz, Thelma Berkowitz, Marie Berman, Beatrice Blackman, Samuel Blattis, Bloom Boville, Jack Broder, Maurice Chow, Saul Kutro, Abraham Diamond, Anson Dreisen, Charles Engler, Helen Epstein, Sanford Fagadav, Francine Feynman, Ruth Farr, William Fenning, Eli Fishman, Fanny Frund, Renee Friedman, Alice Gardner, Charles Gelfand, Kim Geller, Shirley Glick, Arnold Gold, Edie Gordon, Joanne Gordon, Lazarus Gordon, Inez Grover, Carlotta Gutworth, Rose Hunkovsky, Michael Horn, Margaret Jashny, David Carney, Svi Carney, Andrew Kent, Lillian Koslow, Arnold Kroll, Herman Lawrence, Arthur Levine, Ruth Majofis, Mildred Mayer, Robert Mendelson, Carol Miller, Jay Maloney, Robert Frankel, Benjamin Rubin, Philip Riskind, Elias Rosenkrantz, Harry Rosenberg, Mildred Rosenkrantz, Sanford Rosenbaum, Rose Rubin, Alpha Marie Russell, Benjamin Sachs, Bonnie Schwartz, Jenny Schwartz, Samuel Sherwin, Bernard Shields, Barbara Silvers, Goldie Silverstein, Joseph Sclaver, Bryony Sloan, Irving Stearns, Walker Strauss, Wally Weisenberg, Leslie Weitzman, Blanche Weiner, Frederick Wolf. We remember those who died defending the United States of America this week: Gerald Garza, Marwan Gapur, Seth Vandekamp, Kyle McKee, Jeremy Sherman. We think of those who died defending the state of Israel and those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. We now join together. We join together in Mourner's Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'gala u'v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevrach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudashah brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'ol kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'ol kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
We're going to conclude our service with the words of Oseh Shalom. We're going to take you out of the service with a video of our amazing Koleinu band, who we miss being with so much. But we hope that this journey to Shabbat, that you realize that while the journey feels like it takes a lot to get to the peace and serenity of Shabbat, it's always within your reach, and it's always once a week. You can look forward to it every single week. So with that, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's been great being with you.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru.
Shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.